Welcome students. Today we will be doing the normal organic constituents of urine. We will start with the first test, that is test for urea. Urea we are going to do two tests, that is a hypobromide test and a specific urea test. He is starting with a hypobromide test. So we start with 2 ml of urine which is taken in a test tube. And then few drops of sodium hypobromite reagent is added to this. After adding the reagent, you can immediately observe the presence of brisk effervescence in the test tube. That is, you can see the gases escaping out. That is, it is mostly the urea reacting, and then you get the liberation of nitrogen, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide gases. You can see the brisk effervescence. It indicates the presence of urea. So this is the first test for urea, that is the sodium hypobromide test. The observation for this is brisk effervescence which is seen. Now we move on to the second test for urea. We do the specific urease test for confirming the presence of urea. So for that we are taking in a test tube again the urine sample, 5 ml of it. Okay, 5 ml of urine is taken in a test tube. Then after that we take the indicator phenolphthalein. We add few drops of phenolphthalein in this test tube. Phenolphthalein is an indicator which gives different colors in different pH ranges. It turns pink in alkaline medium, and then in acid it is colorless. So now you can see this is pink color. Probably it is because of the alkaline nature of the urine sample. Then after that we are taking acetic acid. We are adding 1% acetic acid slowly to this test tube, few drops, till this pink color disappears. In other way, we are trying to neutralize the pH of this solution. You can see slowly the pink color turns to colorless after the adding of acetic acid. So now the indicator is showing the pH is neutral. So now what we do is we divide this solution into two. That is, in another test tube we take half of this solution. Then we label these two test tubes as test T and the other test tube as control C. So one is T, that is test, and the other is control C. So this, to remind you again, this is the specific urease test for the confirmation of urea. So you are having C control. Okay, so this is the solution with the phenolphthalein indicator, urine sample. Now what we need to do is we need to incubate it. 1 minute. We need to add the urease enzyme. After adding the urease enzyme, we have to incubate. So what we do is in the test tube we are using unboiled urease. This is the unboiled urease solution. We add 2 ml of it in the test tube. The test tube which is marked as T, that is test. In that we are adding 2 ml of unboiled urease. That means the urease the enzyme is intact. It is when, as you know, once it is boiled, the activity of the enzyme is lost. So this is the active enzyme which is added in the test solution. Then this is your control solution, control test tube C. In this what we need to do is, because it is acting as a control, we are adding boiled urea solution. So boiling of the same urea solution, once you boil it, the enzyme activity, once it is boiled, it is lost. The activity of the enzyme is lost. So we are adding the boiled urease in the control test tube. So this is acting as our control. That's why we are adding a boiled urease solution in this one. Now you are ready. Yeah, this is the boiled urease solution. And then we are ready with the two test tubes with the respective urease solutions. Now we are taking a hot water bath and it is at 40 degrees. It is set at 40 degrees temperature, and we are incubating both of the test tubes for 15 minutes, and then we wait for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes we need to observe the color. Now you can see after incubation the pink color reappears in the test tube T, whereas in the control it is still same colorless. Okay, so this means the urea is split by the unboiled urease, that is active urease, which is causing the ammonia, which is giving the pink color back. Now the second one, we are going for test for creatinine. Creatinine, we are doing the Jaffe's test. For this we are taking in a test tube 3 ml of the urine solution, and then we need to add in it picric acid. Okay, 1 ml of 1% picric acid is added to the test tube. And then we need to add sodium hydroxide. We are adding 1 ml of 40% sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide, we have two strengths available in the lab. For this test we are using 40% sodium hydroxide. Okay, for the test for creatinine we are adding two reagents to the urine sample. One is your picric acid and one is sodium hydroxide, both 1 ml each. Once you add the sodium hydroxide, you can see the presence of deep orange color appearing in the test tube. This is because of the presence of formation of creatinine picrate. In alkaline medium, creatinine reacts with picric acid to form the creatinine picrate, which is deep orange in color. So now this confirms the presence of creatinine in the urine sample. Now the third test is the test for uric acid. So for that, on a filter paper you are adding 3 to 4 drops of silver nitrate reagent. The freshly prepared silver nitrate we are using for this, and on this we are adding few drops of the urine sample which is present. Okay, once you add urine onto this filter paper with silver nitrate, you can see black appearance of this silver nitrate because it is getting oxidized, and then a black silver oxide is formed. So now we are having this, you can see 4 test tubes. The first one would be the test, sodium hypobromide test for identification of urea. Then you have the specific urease test for confirming the urea. For urea you are doing 2 tests over here. Okay, and then we are having the Jaffe's test for the identification of creatinine. And the last one would be urea, creatinine, and the last is your uric acid. For that we are doing the Skiff's test, that is on the filter paper. You can see the, this is a Skiff's test, that is a black appearance appearance of the silver nitrate because of the uric acid. So this is all about the normal organic constituents of urine. Thank you.